1 month ago, the outlook for Oklahoma's wheat crop looked bleak. A combination of drought and late spring freezes threatened significant damage to this year's harvest. But as the combines move north, the quantity and quality of the grain being cut is turning out better than expected, giving producers renewed optimism about the state's #1 cash crop.
Custom cutters are rolling across Kenneth Fales land just north of Cherokee. Like every producer in the state, Fales has struggled this year with Oklahoma's unpredictable weather.
Well, it's been dry. We about 13.5 inches since January 1, and that's a little below average. Temperatures, we had some spring freezes that the rest of the state and a lot of the Great Plains experienced this spring. Freezes late that hurt the crop.
2012 was a banner year for Oklahoma wheat, with nearly 155 million bushels harvested, but expectations have been lower this year. Kim Anderson is a crop marketing specialist with Oklahoma State University. He says the drought, coupled with a series of late freezes, was especially hard on farmers in southwest Oklahoma.
They had problems getting it planted. A want came up. We had we thought we had a late freeze. We ended up with 5, some people say 6 late freezes. So between no water and very cold weather and freezing weather, that essentially killed the majority of the wheat crop in southern Oklahoma, southwestern Oklahoma, and Texas.
Unlike growers in southern and southwest Oklahoma who've had to abandon their fields to hay production, Fales is anticipating a decent harvest, one that compares favorably with last year's crop.
Actually, last year was about an average. We didn't have like yields in the southern and central part of the state because of weather, primarily lack of rainfall. And this year we're going to be about an average crop also. I've cut 4 fields and they're in the 38 to 44 bushel range.
Oklahoma Wheat Commission Executive Director Mike Schulte has crisscrossed the state in recent weeks and is encouraged by what he's seen. Schulte says northern and northeastern Oklahoma are the bright spots right now.
Looking at those areas, we are hearing yields averaging 45, maybe to 55 bushels per acre. That is not what we had anticipated.
Schulte credits the recent rains for the turnaround.
In the last month, we have received adequate rainfall that has helped us, and we've had good cloud cover and cooler days, and it's been excellent temperature for grain fill. A month ago, we weren't anticipating that we were going to have that, and with the drought conditions and the late freeze scenarios that we had earlier on in the year, we thought that we were probably going to be looking at a much worse crop.
Now, Schulte is hoping for some dry weather.
Anytime that you do receive the moisture this late in the crop production season, when the producers are trying to get out in the field to get the harvest out, if it comes down heavy and fast like it has in central Oklahoma, it has a tendency to lay the crop down, and then that leads us to have other potential problems with the crop before it's harvested.
Rains during harvest season can reduce test weights, resulting in lower prices for producers. Robbie Newman is general manager of the Burlington Cooperative Association. Newman says the first test weights at the grain elevator in Burlington were good, but have fallen in the past week.
Test weights had started out in the 60-pound plus. Then as we progressed, we started getting into the upper to 58s, 59s, even 57s. We had a half-inch of rain here the other evening, and it dropped about 3 pounds. So now we're in the 57, 56, and 55.
While the Oklahoma Grain and Feed Association last month estimated this year's harvest at just over 85 million bushels, Schulte believes it will be closer to 90 million. He also has high hopes for the quality of this year's crop, with protein levels ranging from 12 to 18%.
Quality-wise, I think this is probably going to be a crop that millers and bakers are going to be interested in working with. Protein levels are going to work well for us. I think kernel size is probably going to have some impact.
Those qualities have already attracted the interest of foreign buyers, including a trade mission from Ecuador that visited the state this week. Ecuador currently buys the majority of its wheat from Canada, but that's changing. U.S. wheat sales to Ecuador have risen from just over 95,000 metric tons for the 2010-2011 crop year to almost 206,000 metric tons for the 2012-2013 crop year. Alvaro de la Fuente with U.S. Wheat Associates says that presents a golden opportunity for American wheat farmers.
For years, the Ecuadorian market has been captive to the Canadians, and we had about a 30% market share. And now that the Canadian Wheat Board is no longer a monopoly, we see chances of selling more wheat. In fact, right now, I think we're up to about 48% market share.
One of the challenges to increasing the U.S. market share in Ecuador is the quality of the grain. Pedro Vega is a member of the Ecuadorian Trade Mission. Vega admits Ecuadorian bakers prefer a higher protein level than what's typically found in Oklahoma wheat.
Ecuador consumes not a lot of bread, but the bread we consume, it has a high fat content. So in order to support all that shortening, we need a high protein.
Ecuadorian buyers aren't committing to a particular state or region in their quest for more U.S. wheat, but so far they like what they've seen in Oklahoma. Producers hope that translates into a bigger share of the Ecuadorian market.